it's Mommy. Pardon me, I'm putting on my shoes and socks. I'm feeling a little bit like Mr. Rogers. I'm saying hello to you, and I'm changing my shoes. Anyway, so one of the things I promised myself when I first retired, which is what I call it, by the way. I call it retired. I had to stop working because of my MS, and for a long time I didn't know what to call that. And people would say, "And what do you do?" And I would stumble, and for a long time I got very emotional. Oh, I'm going to be putting on my makeup while I talk to you. So anyway, I promised myself that I would blog every day. Because I used to write a blog. On top of, all my other stuff, I also used to write a blog. For a long time. I started blogging in 2005. I had a blog about digital scrapbooking called Did You Scrap of the Day? And then I had a personal blog, and then I did a motivational blog for a few years, which had some traction. And then I said, well, when I have to stop working, that's what I'm going to do to keep my sanity. And what happened was MS really messed up my hands. You see, my hands work pretty well. Thank God. For a while, they did not. For a while, my left hand hardly worked at all, which was not fun. And when I was at my peak of being sick from about May of 2010 to like September-ish of 2010, my left hand was useless and my right hand was pretty sad. I was trying to, they got me at work, they got me dictation software, like Dragon Naturally Speaking. It's not natural and it's not speaking. I had a really hard time with that. It was, working was brutal, and I ended up just typing with one or two fingers, and, just people got used to trying to read my stuff. Anyway, so blogging, which involved typing, typing is still really, really hard for me. I can do it in little spurts. I make far more mistakes than I used to. And I used to be a wicked fast typer. Like, people used to say that I was faking it. Like, they would be like, nobody can type that fast. I don't know, 70 words per minute, maybe more. I don't know. And I had the ability to type one thing and talk about something else. I also had the ability to type one thing, talk to somebody, and pay attention to a conference call. All at the same time. Well, thanks to MS, I really kind of have to cut back on the multitasking, but I can't type. I can't type like that. I would try blogging, and my fingers would, they start to go like this. They get all claw-like, and they hurt. So then I tried doing it with the dictation software, and I also used to write fiction, and I can't write fiction at all with dictation software. It's just like you use a different part of your brain. So anyway, then I said, well, I guess I could always vlog. And then Gracie and I started doing the Gracie and Mommy show. And I don't really talk too much about MS on the Gracie and Mommy show, except as, how it affects me on a certain day, or when we're kind of MIA, or when I have to stop in the middle of a doll hunt because my legs have decided that they're done. They're done. We're going to cease to operate now, and you better get yourself sitting down before we go altogether. So, and now I finally started my own channel, and I said, well, I'm going to do games and stuff that I'm interested in, but I also should probably talk about multiple sclerosis. So here I am. I'm going to talk about it. So if you have MS, hi, I feel so bad for you. So for those of you who don't know what MS is, in a nutshell, I'll probably talk about this in more detail in the future when I feel like it. And I'll show you, I have my brain MRIs. I can show you my brain. So multiple sclerosis is a neurological disease. So it affects the brain and the spinal cord and your nerves. Okay, so that's your central nervous system. The problem, you see, with MS is that your immune system gets very confused, and it thinks that the white insulation on your brain and your spinal cord and your nerves, it thinks it's food, and it attacks it. Well, it thinks it's a foreign object. I always say it thinks it's food. It attacks it, and it eats it up. And so what happens is all along, all over your brain. Now the white goo covers your brain and all the folds in your brain. It's insulation. It's like insulation on a wire. Like, okay, here's a wire. You see, this is a wire, right? This is my iPhone wire. But this white stuff isn't actually conducting any signals. Underneath the white stuff are all of the wires, okay? Well, it works that way in your body. Underneath the white stuff are all of the nerves and nerve fibers and brain matter are protected by white stuff. Well, in multiple sclerosis, and I'm not going to do this to my lightning cable, the white stuff gets eaten, and so the wires end up exposed. And when wires get exposed, they get very unhappy. They get very confused. It's just like if you do have a wire like this and you get a tear in it or a hole in the insulation, you're going to start to get signal problems. Or if it gets really squished and crimped, and it's going to have signal problems. It's not going to conduct the message right. It may not, it might not sync your iPod anymore. You might get, like if you're trying to play something through a cable where the insulation is worn away, you might get static. It might cut in and out. You might get popping. Well, that's what's happening in my body. So my insulation on my brain has lots of signal problems. And that's even what they call it. They call it signal variance, I think, or no, signal disruption. On an MRI report. It'll say areas of signal loss or signal disruption. And so when the messages from my brain go down my spinal cord and out into my nerves for my whole body, the messages don't always come through correctly. Sometimes they don't come through at all. And they also send me the wrong information. On top of that, on top of the messages not getting there right, nerves throughout my body, as they're starting to figure out, also happens with MS. The nerves and the fibers that create the nerves are damaged by MS and they die. So you're not getting the full range of information. In my case, a lot of the snackage happened in my cervical spine, which is this section right here of your spinal cord that runs through your neck. Now, I originally thought, because I have a really, really big spot where the little cells ate up, I'm doing like big spot. It's about 4.5 centimeters long, which to me didn't seem too big. I looked at a ruler and I was like, okay, maybe that's not good. On the middle of my spinal cord, between my shoulder blades, that completely took out my legs. It took out everything from that spot down, went numb. When I had my first massive attack it started in March of 2010, and we really didn't get that one under control until about October 2010. So it was a long time, a lot of steroid infusions, a lot of, I'm getting better, and it's getting worse. It was really, really rough. And like a doofus, I worked the whole time. Gee, I wonder why I didn't get better. I don't know what I'm babbling about, but anyway, so that big one took out, and that's the one that causes a lot of the trouble with my legs. But then my neck, originally when I first went, I had like 2 or 3 lesions in that area, and then as we went through the next 15 or so months before I got on a treatment that actually worked for me, I got a bunch more. So I had like 7 or 9 or something lesions in this much space. And these are the lesions that took out my hands and my arms. I have a big one on my right side. And so my left, because it's always opposite, my left hand is completely just, it feels, the only way I can describe it is I feel like I have a prosthetic hand, or like I'm a cyborg. This arm, from like here to my fingers, does not feel like it's part of me. I don't know how else to describe. So I don't even remember what this vlog was about. I think it was about what it's like for me to have MS. And what it's like for me to have MS today is, I felt good enough to take a shower. I'm sorry, putting on eyeliner. which is I feel good enough today to hold this and put this on my eyes. Some days I don't do it at all, and some days I use this brushy thing because it's much more forgiving and I'm not likely to that was the lowest point for me. Was at some point in July of 2010 when things were really intense. I got diagnosed on June 28th of 2010. Some point in July, my hands, when they really just got at their absolute worst, I couldn't wear makeup at all. Yeah, you don't know how bad that is for me. I wear makeup almost every day because I like makeup. I really enjoy makeup. I love watching makeup tutorials. I have way too much makeup. Someday I'll show you all the makeup I have. I love makeup. And the idea that not only was I not wearing makeup, I was leaving the house and going to work with no makeup on. I mean, I was trying to do at least mascara, and I'm like, hold the wand and be like, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And that was like, oh my God, that was the worst. So I like to, on days that I can do this, I do it. I lost the lid because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, there it is. And on days I can't, I use the brushy thing. And if I can't do that, I just eyeshadow and some mascara. There are days I don't because I'm just like, and I don't feel like it. But on days I don't feel well at all, makeup doesn't have, showering doesn't happen. You have no idea how much energy it takes you to shower. You just have no idea. No idea whatsoever. So, I even have a shower seat for when I'm really in bad shape. I'll skip a day of showering if I don't feel well, but if it's gonna be, seems like it's gonna be a prolonged situation, I'm not going 2 days without a shower. That's disgusting. So I have a shower seat that my husband could put in the shower for me so I can sit down while I bathe. I also cut off my hair because of MS, because I don't have the kind of hair that you can just wash and go. It's curly in the back, it's straight in the front. So I have to blow dry my hair or it goes in a ponytail. And blow drying my hair, of course, even with the lightest blow dryer, ouch. And I'm not very coordinated with it. And especially like something like that, like blow drying, even with my right hand is hard. Well, I kept hitting myself in the head. And on Christmas Day, 2012, I hit myself so hard with the stupid blow dryer right here on the corner of your, like right here, that I ended up with like a bruised knot on my head. And I said, that's it. That is it. I can't deal with this anymore. Found a couple of pictures, pixie cuts. Went to the hair salon on December 27th and said, just take it off. I can't do it anymore. So I cut off all my hair. And you know what? I actually really like it. And actually, we discovered this is my real hair color because I haven't really colored my hair since July of this year. And so all this stuff is new, and that's my actual hair color. So surprise. So anyway, rambling blog about what it's like to have MS. This is what it's like to have MS for me. If you have MS, let me know what it's like to have MS for you. And this isn't the only thing about MS. I could go on and on forever. But I promised myself I was going to vlog about it and that I wanted to share my experience with people. So if you have MS, hi. I know there are a few viewers of the Mommy and Gracie show whose parents have MS, and I know there's a couple who actually have MS themselves. So feel free to join us in the comments below. Tell me what it's like for you. Thank you for watching. Please comment and subscribe and let me know about MS in your life or anybody in your life who has MS. And don't forget to check out my other channel, which has almost nothing. It's just really has nothing to do with MS. It's about dolls. Check out the Mommy and Gracie show. It's Mommy and Gracie. We collect dolls. We hunt dolls. We do some crazy stuff together. And she's my reason for fighting MS every day. Thanks, guys. Thank you for watching.